On this episode of Strategy Supercharged, I will introduce the concept of temperament. For the purposes of this blog, I will be borrowing heavily from, but modifying slightly, the Kiersey temperament sorter system of defined temperaments. The Kiersey temperament sorter identifies 4 basic temperaments, which they call the guardians, the artisans, the idealists, and the rationals. I prefer to call these temperaments by names that describe what they are most intrinsically motivated to do from an organization's perspective. So I will be addressing the guardians as the logistical temperament, the artisans as the tactical temperament, the idealists as the diplomatic temperament, and the rationals as the strategic temperament. Because this blog is about strategy in the Australian corporate context, I will be focusing more on the strategic temperament, but also because I argue that the Australian corporate culture is very conducive to the logistical temperament. I'll also be addressing the logistical temperament. But to keep things as simple as possible, and in no way am I passing judgment or fitness over the other 2 temperaments, being the tactical and diplomatic, but I just won't be talking about them quite so much. Right? They're perfectly valid people who exhibit those temperaments. There's nothing wrong with them. Great people. It's just, let's keep this as simple as possible. So, from a demographics point of view, the temperaments are not created equally. If you get 100 random adults from the general population, most likely you will find that 45% of them, 45, would be of the logistical temperament persuasion, and 35% tactical, and 15% diplomatic, and 5% strategic. And unless your organization has gone out of its way to hire one temperament more than others, then likely your organization, if it has a good sample size, would have similar demographic split to that. So the strategic temperament is the rarest or the least common of the temperaments, most likely within your organization. And added to that, the strategic temperament is the most independent of temperaments. They don't clump. They respect themselves based on their perceived ability to make their own decisions without extrinsic coercion or motivation. And the upshot of that is that not only are they the least common and the most independent, they are going to be scattered throughout the organization. They walk their own path, so there's no department where you will only find strategic people. There's no profession or job title or rung of the corporate ladder. They'll hold the steering wheel. They'll be everywhere. Right? So that creates both a challenge and also an opportunity, because The challenge is identifying them. It's like identifying a bit of a needle in a haystack, the strategist out of the crowd, right? But once you've identified them, because they're going to be so scattered, and because the strategic temperament is a so-called holistic thinker, they see the big picture of things, and they're always observing the patterns in around them. They have a very good big picture view or perspective of wherever they are in your organization, right? So if you can identify them and bring them together so that they do clump, they do stick together for at least a period of time, then what you'll have is the opportunity of a very broad and complete big picture view of your organization. And this is key to improving your strategic capability. So I'll leave you with that.